Welcome into this carrier update. I'm Tony Mulvey, joined by Donny, Gilbert. Donny, let's start by looking at what's going on in the diesel market. Some positive signs if you're a carrier. It's not the biggest drop we've seen or the biggest decline at the retail locations, but indications are, based on what we see, what's happened in the rack prices, there's a little more relief in sight.
There's room for this to come down now. So over the weekend, we talked about this Friday, it dropped down. The rack price dropped down, but it continued to drop over the weekend, where over the last 3 or 4 days, we've seen about a 40-cent decline in just the rack price.
Yep.
Retail prices dropped about 3 cents since Friday, 3.5 cents.
Which is good, because we were talking about it, we were like, we're hopeful to see 1, maybe 2 cents. So it's exceeded our expectations just because the rack price continued to fall, and there's a little bit of a buffer there now.
Yeah, and now how comfortable do these station owners feel? Mm-hmm. We've seen the volatility. We know it's there. Is this rack price going to bounce right back up? It very well could, but we'll see. Hopefully not. But if it doesn't, then if we go to the next chart here, we've been running around that $5, $10 on the split, and now we're all the way at $1.42.
Which is near the highest it's been. I mean, even back, call it early summer months, $1.30, between $1.20, $1.30. But really $1.30, $1.40. Anytime it got close to like $1.33, we would see an upward movement in.
Yeah, we'd see it start to drop back down. So yeah, we're up here right now at $1.42. So we have a chance if we go back to where we were. This is a 30 cent. They could drop on average 30 cents if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But like I say, that's not going to happen yet because they're still nervous about that volatility.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that volatility to give up right now.
No, it's probably going to increase when you think about, I mean, look at what happened over the weekend, unrest in the Middle East. I mean, it fuels the fire to add some volatility, right?
You're exactly correct.
Anytime there's unrest or geopolitical unrest, look at what happened with Russia and Ukraine back in 2022. That's where you saw this massive increase in the rack price and now, drove diesel prices higher.
And now it's in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Which could drive it back up. It might take a little while. Number one, the scare can drive it up.
Exactly.
But it takes a month plus, and then the actual diesel, the world market on diesel will go up, and that will cause the average prices in the U.S. to go up.
Yeah, it's something to, maybe not, it's something to pay close attention to, right? It hasn't had impacts yet, and it ultimately might not, but there is a risk involved when geopolitical events occur, and this is one happening in the Middle East. So something to pay attention to as we move forward throughout the rest of the year.
And we haven't seen spot rates really increase that much. We saw them go up a few cents, but now they're starting to come back down.
Yep.
And this is going to help probably push more carriers out. Let's go to the next chart here. We're still in the red, running in that 300 to 400 per week authorities leaving the market.
Yeah, which when you really think about it, I mean, pull it back to, I mean, we're going back to 2022 here. This same time frame last year, we were adding about this same number of carriers, which is fine because you're basically offsetting entrance and exits at the moment. I don't know, it is an issue. We were adding 2,000 a week back in 2021. We've only touched 1,000, 2 weeks in the last year. So you're adding more than double what you're seeing in exits. That's the concern, is that we haven't seen it at a rate, one, that's sustainable for the future, because it's just been slower. They built up a war chest, and it hasn't depleted itself. It's getting close.
Here, a month of the exits right now are equal to a week.
Yeah.
Back in and it still might not even add up to that. So we got quite a ways to go on these exits here. But considering the time frame, fourth quarter right now, a lot of people are really going to be able to hold on or hold in there.
Yeah.
And this will probably remain pretty slow till probably after the first of the year.
Thank you, Donny, for this update. We'll be sure to check in with you again a little later. Right now, we'll hand it back over to Kaylee Nix.